it's me Lily. Welcome back to one of my book review again. Like usual, I'm doing another book review. The book I'm gonna do this time is Amber Fury. It is written by Katie Brett. I love this book. It's really amazing. It's kind of like my style to read because it's a troublemaker book. I love those kind of books. Those books are really funny and interesting, and it's really enjoyable to read. In this book, the main character is Amber Fury, like the title. Her father is a rock star, and her mother is dead. Her stepmother is one of the actresses, so she is a missed up kid. Everyone thought that she is a wild child of total out of control rich bird, but after what she have done, which I'm going to talk about later, save it. She is different from what people really think of her or what people read from the magazines, but I mean, not too much, maybe a bit. When she was kid, like 6 or 7 years old, she found out that her mother was sick. She wanted to go to the hospital to meet her mother, but the people at her house did not let her go. So she got really mad and set a fire on her bed. Then she was sent to the boarding school for 2 or 3 years. When she was 9, her mother passed away, and she didn't even know that. Her mother dies. Her father was always busy whenever she saw him. He was packing or unpacking stuff for the next music tour. Basically, she grew up by herself, and she have imagination friends too. She sometimes talks to them. Then one day, once her school finished for summer break, she had to go to the place where her stepmother and her dad were living. She hoped that her father would come and pick her up at the airport, but her dad wasn't there. She was a bit sad. She went home with her stepmother. When they arrived at the house, she already feels like she might be trapped in the place, and she will have to think about an escape plan. And she was sometimes like her stepmother that she was going to the shopping, but actually she went to the bookshop, and she likes the bookshop because it's like the design of the bookshop kind of look like London style, and she missed London because it's her hometown. She would go there usually, but after sometimes she gets bored and know that it's not really like being in London. And after a while, her birthday finally came. She made some fake friends, but they sometimes make fun of her, but she doesn't really care about them. Her stepmother invited most of the celebrities from all over the world to the party, and Amber gets a little unwild, and she went to the backstage for some fresh air. That's when she saw Finn, the waiter. She fell in love with him. He gave her his number to call him, and then he left for a walk. Later, that her fake friends came over to her and asked her that if she would like to go to the concert with them. At first, she thought about ignoring them, but after she thought about it, she decided to go since she has nothing to do better. And she saw Finn at the concert again. This time, he was singing, not the waiter. And after that, Finn came to Amber and asked her to a date. Then the other day, she decided to run away with him. She thought he agreed with him to run away, but when they arrived at somewhere to rest, Finn got really angry and mad and started to argue to Amber. Amber felt really sad and angry, so she took out her matchbox and light up one of them, and she put it on the floor. Then the whole thing burns down, and they heard the police coming, so they ran away with the car. When they drove away, they saw a rabbit on the street. She drove off from the road. Accidentally, they fall off from the cliff and faded. The next day she remembers, she was in the police station. Her dad was cleaning up all the mess she has made. burning the whole thing down. Then they went back to the home, and when they arrived at the home, Amber heard her dad and her stepmother fighting or yelling at each other. She fell asleep after that. In her dream, she was in the imagination world, and one of her best friends from the imagination wall called Nat and how were hanging in the city. There was a war where Nat was living, and one of the buildings beside Amber was on fire, and they could hear a child yelling out for help. Ned runs into the building and help the children child get out, but only the child was safe. Ned did not make it to the outside. Then she suddenly wakes up from sleeping. Her dad told her that they were moving back to London, and he was spent more time with her. And when they get back to the London, she was really happy to get back to her hometown. And one day her dad make a request for her to wear a dress. After they get ready, they went to the gallery, and there were a lot of paparazzi taking pictures of them. They asked a lot of questions, and Amber gets really annoyed, and she went to the outside. She took out a match and lighted it up, but it seems like someone beside her was blowing it off, and it went off. When she looked up, she like there was nobody, and she saw no one there. She thought it was Nat. In her mind, she took out another match and lighted it. It went out like the last time. She gazed at the smoke, and this time she feels like one breath on her hand. She thought maybe Ned wanted her to stop doing crazy stuff like putting things on fire. You might be wondering why she set most of the things on fire many times. It's because she has an obsession of setting fires on things. It's called paranoia. It's kind of like a psychology when it's hiding. And she finally knew that people also cares about her, and she gives chance to them, and not like they were not as bad as she thought as before. And that's all the story for today. It was an interesting book. I really enjoyed reading it. Last but not least, as usual, I will say it again. Stay home, stay safe, be careful. I will do another book review next time. Bye!